It is a scary time. We've had fires, we've had plagues, we've had riots, we've had a revolution that we are still in the midst of. We're looking at a sandstorm and plagues of cicadas, and I wonder how the biblical writers would speak about 2020. And it's scary. But I told myself early in ministry that I would make no decision whatsoever based on fear, because when I let fear drive my life, I have all of a sudden said, God, I don't need you. I can do it myself. So our elders and our church, our decision to not reopen currently is not based on fear. It is based on love. Love of our neighbors. Love of those at risk. Love of our community. And we are all inundated with information. We are given more information than we know what to do with and how to sort through. The government says we can open, and yet still churches are showing how one person comes to worship and 26 are infected from that one service, and then 35 in the community, and then hospitalizations and deaths. And I love those people. So I want to protect them. And when I think about us wanting to come back to church, we have to really question why. Because the church is not a building, and we've learned anything in this whole thing, that's the lesson. In fact, in the Book of Order, in the very beginning sentence, as it begins to talk about our polity and who we are, it says the church is the congregation that is doing its mission, and we are still doing that. So we continue with online worship for the time being. The elders are constantly looking at the rates in Warren County so that we can determine when it's safe to come back together in worship. In the meantime, you are invited. Thursday mornings at 11:30, we actually record our service. There's no singing. There is music. There is the organ. You're invited, but please call the church first if you're planning on attending. And we, as your church leaders, will continue to pray for wisdom. God's wisdom, not ours, not earthly wisdom or governmental wisdom, not policy, but God's wisdom. And as we do that, we return to that biblical aspect of waiting on the Lord. And typically I tell you that waiting is an active waiting. It's an active hope. And this is so ironic because right now, that active waiting is staying at home and being safe and loving our neighbors and protecting those at risk. So I hope you'll join us online. And when God tells us, when we hear that call from God that says, you need to get back in church, in the building, we will listen. And the invitation will be to all, everyone. Peace and blessings.